Capricorns, July energy is coming in hot and spicy. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your transformational tarot reading for the month of July for the sign of Capricorn. Caps, this is for your sun, moon, rising, your Venus sign, and also if you happen to have a Cap in your life that you love, what a great way to stay supportive and connected with what's going on with them. So today we are pulling an overarching theme for you guys from the Magic of You Oracle from Fiona Horn. And the card deck that spoke to me for you guys today is the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. So without further ado, let's get to it. Sorry for the technical glitch there. Here we go. So as I am shuffling up to see what your overarching theme is, Caps, I invite you, if you are so inclined, to check out the join button. Help keep the conversation going. I've got 3 different membership tiers. Okay, doable. The key is within your grasp. So Caps, this month, I feel this is really going to be an empowerment month, an encouraging month for you, but also a month where you want to be really discerning about the opportunities that you're saying yes to be discerning about what energy you have that you want to invest into other people, places, and things. So when they say it's doable, the key is within your grasp. This is true of anything, but I really feel like I want to say to you, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean that you should. And so this is kind of the adage that you want to use. There's going to be a lot of, I want to say just like a lot of opportunity, a lot of people, places, and things coming into your life and into your space, wanting, needing, suggesting things. It's up to you to discern whether or not that is something that you're willing to, sort of step into or not. So keep that in mind. Okay, currently, where are you right now in your transformational energy? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Oh, okay. No, it's this one. Oh, it's this one. My goodness, Caps. Okay. Oh, interesting. 4 of Torches, 4 of Wands. So I feel like you're ready to up level. You know that you want to move on, move forward from sort of the lessons that you've been learning, the garden that you've been planting. You're ready to move on to something else, something new and something different. But there is something that has been left a bit undone. This is a card, this is one of the cards that I use for contracts. And I want to say, I feel that there may be, for some of you, a soul contract that is popping up that needs to be addressed. For some of you, this is finishing out or completing an actual contract, whether that's verbal or something that you've signed. So while you're ready to move on, or you're wanting to be ready to move on, you're like, oh my God, let's get this show on the road. I feel like with the 4 of Torches, it's coming through to say there is still something that is left undone. Take the time to find that resolve. Take the time to sort out what that is. And don't try to rush your exit. Don't try to rush your new beginning. 4s are all about foundation, laying foundation for what is to come. If you don't finish out this contract in a way that is meaningful and honest, I feel that there's going to be blowback. So remember, your word is your bond, right? It's about trust. If people can't trust you, if you are the boy who cried wolf, or if you don't live up to your promises and your agreements, that's the kind of thing that's going to blow back on you. So just kind of pay attention to what that is. What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? I feel that this is dissolving, but it's going to take some time. The catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or rocket fuel? Interesting. So I feel like you have been, in the last few months, feeling like you don't have very many options, feeling as though the options you thought you had turned out to be the great illusion. Almost like I'm hearing the word resentment here. Like everyone else had the options, but then when it was my turn, the tides were turned, right? The options were no longer there. They were all used up, or, the system shifted, the system changed. It's really important for you, Caps, to not go into any kind of victim mentality around this month, to instead really look at it and say, okay, if those aren't my options, then let me go within. Let me quiet my mind. Let me go into my heart, into my soul space, and see what options come up through that. So it's not that you're waiting for the options to show up from outside of you. It's the options that are coming from within. Cups energy is the realm of the psychic and the realm of the emotion. It's our ocean of emotion. And 7 is about dotting the I's and crossing the T's, getting really specific about the details. And I feel like the details are only going to happen from within you, not from without. So you may find some disappointment outside of you. You may find that things aren't working out exactly the way you thought they were going to. But I want to say it's an invitation for you to go within and to create for yourself, or listen to your guides for what the next option is. This is going to be, this itself is resistance. But you can turn it into rocket fuel if you choose to see that, okay, out of all of the options that should have been mine, what is left? And it's the remaining that you're seeking out. It's the remaining that's going to be that rocket fuel. Okay, deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Prince of Torches. Interesting. So Prince is the knight. I love that he's riding a cat. I think that's really cute. Okay, so if we've got the Knight of Wands, what I'm feeling here is that you've got this idea that you can save the day, that you can single-handedly solve all the problems of the world, or, get in the way of the dastardly deeds of others, or in some cases, get there beforehand and get it done. Sometimes this is about, it's ego-driven. Sometimes it's driven to be in service. Sometimes you just want to be helpful. But understand that sometimes when we are trying to be helpful and we're trying to do things for others before they get a chance to do it for themselves, we're either enabling or we're getting in the way of an experience that a person may want to have, consciously or otherwise. So the deep root, I feel like you want to kind of take a look at those spaces and places within yourself where maybe ego is driving the bus a little bit and saying, I can be the center of the universe. I can resolve everybody's problems. It rests on me. The buck stops with me. And I want to say maybe some of that is true in certain cases, but you want to kind of take a step back and see the part that you play in the lives of those around you, in the world at large. What part are you playing? Because we are all like grains of sand on the beach. Individually, it's a little bit insignificant, but together we all, make up the beachfront and the ocean, right? So I don't mean to rain on your parade, Caps, and I'm not trying to call you egotistical. We all do this, but I feel like for you guys right now, it's really doing the hard look as to why you are feeling so driven to be able to resolve this problem or get out of this situation fast. You want to kind of take a look at your own motives, subconscious, because that, I feel, is going to give you a lot of awareness and information about why you're feeling so driven. Okay, what's dying away? What part of you is falling away? What role pattern or identity has run its course? Wow, you've got a lot of fire energy, Caps. So there's definitely going to be movement. You are in a soul journey energy. You're looking for fuel, but you don't want to misuse that fuel. You don't want to burn yourself out. So the Three of Torches, the Three of Wands, is a card of expansion. And we can see here, she's standing and the question becomes, wow, that's pretty impressive that she landed there, that she walked her way up or hiked her way up there, because she's on a mountain cliff. It's a little jut here. It's a bit unstable, and yet she's really confident in what she's doing. And she's got these 3 wands And I'm feeling when I'm looking at this card here, Mr. Neo's coming to say hi, that she's looking at 3 different paths, 3 different directions that she can choose at this time. Okay, scoot your butt. Thank you. So what's falling away? What role pattern or identity has run its course? I feel like you've come to a decision point. You've come to a choice point. And it's no longer about sitting and thinking about, what's going to be best for others. It's about sitting and thinking about what is going to be best for you and choosing that path. Now, you may have 2 or 3 paths that are going to, come together while you are walking a singular path. You may be able to tackle all 3 of these. I don't feel that it's the number of goals on the path that is the issue. It's more that what's falling away is you trying to be all things to all people. And instead, it's really looking at, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Let me adjust from there. It's not about the other person and their needs. It's about my needs. And maybe my needs are a bit codependent. Maybe my needs are not being met by being in this particular dynamic. Maybe this is the opportunity for me to reevaluate my needs. Maybe they were my needs in a past existence, and they aren't my needs today. Sorry, these cards are going all over the place for you guys today. It's a little kooky. Okay, highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. 4 of Swords. You have not really felt like you've had a good solid rest in a really long time. Especially mental energy. Your mind's been racing, it's been going. I feel like for a lot of you, not all of you, but for a lot of you, sleep has been elusive. There's been a lot of unsettling dreams, a lot of unsettling thoughts that have been transpiring. I feel like you've been reliving past experiences where you wish you could take it back or do things differently. I want to say be compassionate with yourself. The 4 of Swords, yes, it's a card of rest, but it's also a card of truce. And I feel like this is an opportunity that when we talk about the highest Phoenix potential, it's the opportunity for you to call truce on the war that is going on within yourself so that you can fully embrace and love yourself, warts and all, and be able to move forward into whatever this next chapter brings for you, whatever it is that you have manifested, that you can do it in a celebratory way. You can do it in celebration. But if you have no energy, and remember I was talking about you've got a lot of fire energy, a lot of torch energy, you don't want to burn yourself out. And so this 4 of Swords, the rest is coming. The rest is coming. Call a truce on what has been plaguing you, what you have been battling internally with. Call truce on it. And instead step into this expansion a little bit and see what is to come. I feel like that's really important. Remember, the key is within your grasp, but just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should. Next step, what's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting, you've got the Judgment card. So I do feel that you're on the precipice of leveling up. We did talk about that in the 4 of Torches, the 4 of Wands. The Judgment card is that call to action. It is that call to say, okay, you've been around the block, you've won the boss battle. Now are you ready to move on to the next level, or is there something that is still left undone? And I feel like with this Judgment card just around the corner, it's important for you to give yourself permission to be able to take a breather, to evaluate what's being presented to you before you actually jump in and say yes. A lot of energy around the Judgment card is, okay, yes, let's do this, let's go, I'm so ready. And we talked about that, you are feeling ready. But when the Judgment card comes up, this feeling is a lot different than the 4 of Torches feeling, because the Judgment is a major arcana. So I feel like it's okay for you to kind of be presented with the new option, to sit back and take it all in, to evaluate it. I don't feel that it's necessarily that you're going to say no to it, Caps, but I feel like it's okay for you to take it in and to allow it to kind of absorb. Sometimes, I'm I'm a dog with a bone. I'm an A type. So like I get an idea and inspiration and then I'm off like a shot. I've had to learn the hard way that sometimes with an inspiration, you want to sit with it for a couple of days and see what it is that it wants to become for you. It may be just the first piece of the puzzle. It may not be the entire picture, and that there may be other resources coming. And if you start it too soon, you're going to, be doing a lot of extra work because you're going to be doing 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Not to say that that might not be the experience you choose to have. That might work well for you. But just saying, I feel like this is a month where you want to give yourself a little bit of time to evaluate what that next level is, just so that you can be emotionally and energetically prepared to dive on into the fray. Okay, you in this role, you in the process, how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Guys, you can't make this shit up. I mean, look at all of this fire energy. So definitely the soul, the soul is ready to have an experience. The soul is like, all right, let's just do this. Princess of Torches is the page of wands. And so we had the Knight of Wands already, but now as you're navigating the transformation, you are taking that student energy. And sometimes student energy can be a little naive. You go in wide-eyed and enthusiastic and open to everything that you're going to learn. And that's great and awesome. But when you start to have those bad days, when you run into a lesson that's a little harder to learn, suddenly now the rose is off the bloom, right? Or the bloom is off the rose, however that saying is. And I feel like this is something that you want to just be aware of, is go in with no expectation. Go in understanding that this next chapter of my life, is going to be a journey. It's going to be different than everything else that I've done here. I'm going to be able to do it. There's no question. So I don't need to rush through anything. I don't need to set high expectations before I even know what it is that I'm getting involved in. It's okay for me to take things one step at a time. It's okay for me to take things as they come. I feel like this is really important because if you start bulldozing through, you're resisting. But if you are taking it one step at a time, you are in flow, and it's going to make so much more sense to you. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation? And is it a positive or negative influence? We've got the Knight. Okay, so the Knight is I feel like here it's the Moon card. And what we're talking about here is the Moon card. So this is a very strong invitation for you, Caps, to go based on your intuition, to not really rely on anyone or anything else around you, but to really go within. We talked a little bit before about you've got kind of a battle going on within yourself. You're trying to release that battle. You're trying to create a little more peace of mind, a little more centering, a little more stillness. So this Knight card, the Moon card coming through, I feel is really saying that the intuition can support you. No, things are not always what they seem, which is why you're taking a little bit of extra time to figure this out and learn what is going to be coming up for you. Don't disparage. This is about a reconnection with self so that you can hear more of that soul journey, what that soul is really calling you to learn, to sink your teeth in, and to explore in this next chapter. Hopes and fears. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Oh my God, another ace. Okay. Another wands, torches. So Ace of Torches, Ace of Wands. You, like I said, you are ready for the new beginning. You are inspired in the actions that you want to take, but you're also a bit fearful that your past you, those characteristics that you've been working through, maybe we could call them bad habits or old cycles. You're afraid that those cycles are going to take over because you're not feeling quite fully foundationally settled into this new version of you yet. And I'm going to say you're not fully settled into this new version of you, which is why that Four of Torches is coming up. This is the month to be able to find that foundation, to be conscious about the choices that you're making with yourself and for yourself. That's why this Ace of Torches is coming through. You don't have to be afraid of that inspired action. You just need to be intentional about it. Okay, and who will you be on the other side of this transformation if you choose to stay on course here in July. Who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth phoenix cycle? Another Ace of Cups. So yes, you will feel the coolness, the calmness. You will feel the initiation into a new aspect of you. It will feel a little slower, a little cooler, a little more balanced. Ace of Cups is a card of creativity and initiation, almost like a baptism into a new version of you. And I feel like that's exactly what July wants to bring you. You know, from the beginning of July to the end of July, you're definitely going to feel like you've turned a corner, like you're part of a new chapter, that there's a new connection to you that is coming up. And this is going to be very celebratory. We talked about that too in one of these cards. I said you want to be able to move forward in a celebratory fashion. The Ace of Cups is bringing you that energy. Wow. Okay, Cap. So that is your transformational tarot reading for the month of July. As always, if you need any help or guidance or support with these energies and how to navigate these waters, click on the link below and book a one-on-one session with me. I'd love to be of service in that way. Until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Code Tour, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love, lots of support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well as you watch these other videos. Take care.